Okay, so let's get into this. Usually when we queue up a deep dive, we're looking at something pretty heavy, 50-page academic papers, long-form journalism, that kind of thing. But today,
Is different.
we are pivoting hard. We are looking at a source that is, on the surface, just completely ridiculous.
It really is.
It's a YouTube video. It's short. And it's got a guy in, like, a wig doing this very specific, very intense impression of a martial arts legend.
It's a Bruce Lee parody. Let's
Never.
just call it what it is.
It is a Bruce Lee parody. It's from a channel called 𝗥𝗨𝗚𝗓, and the video title is Bruce Lee Interview 𝗥𝗨𝗚𝗓.
Right.
So, on the face of it, it's just comedy, a skit. But you and I both watched this, and we had the exact same reaction.
Which was, hang on a second, there's actually something profound going on here.
Exactly. It's surprisingly deep.
Well, it's what I call the court jester effect. Throughout history, the jester was the only one who could tell the king the truth.
Without getting their head chopped off, yeah.
Right. Because they wrapped it in a joke. They made it absurd. And I think that's exactly what's happening here. This video is pretending to be a silly skit, but if you, strip away the wig and the accent...
It's what?
It's basically a manifesto.
A manifesto on what, though?
On modern masculinity, on the ethics of friendship, and really specifically on how we're supposed to survive the internet age without, losing our humanity.
Wow. That is a tall order for a 3-minute clip. But okay, I'm in. The core of this whole thing seems to revolve around a term he coins. The Habibi bro.
It's a brilliant term.
It is. But before we even get to the definition, we have to look at the persona. The video starts with a classic interview question. The character is asked about his identity. He says people are always asking, who is actually 𝗥𝗨𝗚𝗓𝗏?
Which is, that's the fundamental question of the internet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who is the real person behind the account?
Right. And his answer is so specific. He doesn't say I'm a comedian or an influencer. He describes his personality. He says, and I'm kind of paraphrasing the translation, that he's a friend who is wild or crazy, but
has a good heart.
Yes, that duality.
That's the whole key. He uses a word for crazy. That doesn't mean unwell. It means uninhibited. He's the friend who brings the chaos.
The one who dances on the table, we all have that friend.
Or we are that friend. But usually, society sees wild as a negative.
Right.
It's unprofessional. It's a risk. But he immediately anchors it. He says, wild, but with a good heart.
So the chaos isn't just chaos, it has a point.
I think so. Think about the class clown. We tend to just dismiss them, but sociologically, they're performing a service. They break the tension.
Okay.
They make it safe for everyone else to relax. If I'm willing to look a bit foolish, it gives you permission to not be so serious. It creates psychological safety.
So by being the wild one, he's actually signaling that he's safe.
As long as the good heart is there, absolutely. Vulnerability invites connection. If he came out all serious and superior, he'd be unapproachable. By being wild, he's accessible.
Then he pivots. He talks about why people follow him, and this is where I think we start to see his theory of influence. He gives 2 reasons. The first one is obvious. He makes people laugh.
Standard stuff. Entertainment value. Dopamine.
But reason number 2 is what really got me. He says people follow him because he gives spirit.
Gives spirits.
Now, I know that's a translation, but in this context, it feels like it means so much more than just, cheering someone on.
Or absolutely. Giving spirit is about morale. It's an energy transfer.
Yeah.
Now think about how the internet usually works. You scroll through your feed. Yeah. What happens to your energy?
It just drains. It's doom scrolling. It's bad news. People arguing. It's an energy tax.
Right. Most of the internet is an energy vampire.
Right.
But this creator is defining his role as the opposite. He is a morale generator to give spirit. That's a leadership quality. It's what a coach does for a team.
He's saying, I'm here to refill your tank.
Exactly. And then he explicitly compares this relationship to being like a brother.
Which is a huge shift in the parasocial dynamic, isn't it? We're usually fans or subscribers.
Which are transactional terms.
Yeah.
Brother is. That's tribal. It implies a lifelong bond.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for a second. This is a guy on a screen. He doesn't actually know us. Is it really healthy to use a word like brother for a stranger online? Isn't that just feeding a delusion?
That's a fair point, and it's a valid skepticism. But I don't think he means a literal one-to-one relationship with every viewer. I think he's talking about the archetype he's trying to be.
So it's about modeling a behavior.
Yes. He's saying, I am presenting myself not as a celebrity looking down on you, but as a brother standing beside you.
It's about the power dynamic.
Precisely. A celebrity looks down, a brother looks across.
Yeah.
And that levels the playing field. And that right there sets the stage for the main event.
Habibi bro.
The Habibi bro.
Okay, let's break this term down. Habibi bro. It sounds like a sticker you'd find on a MacBook, but you're saying there's a lot more going on.
Linguistically, it's just a fascinating mashup. You've got Habibi from Arabic.
Yeah.
It means my love or my dear. It's incredibly intimate. You know, it's a soft, affectionate word.
And then you slap bro on the end of it.
Yeah, which is the universal signifier of casual, kind of detached male friendship. Gym bros, crypto bros, you know.
So when you smash them together,
you create a whole new category. You get the fierce intimacy of Habibi with the accessible, no-drama friendship of bro. It's saying, we can be casual, but the love is deep and real.
And the source doesn't just leave it at that. He defines it with this really specific, really intense standard. He says a Habibi bro is a friend you love like your own flesh and blood.
Flesh and blood.
We're back to biology again.
And this is where the philosophy gets, I think, pretty radical.
Yeah.
In the modern world, especially online, we have tiers of friends, right?
Sure. Inner circle, work friends, acquaintances.
And then internet friends are way down at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, they're not usually considered real friends.
Exactly. But this source is just rejecting that whole hierarchy. He's arguing that if you are in the tribe, if you are a Habibi bro, the medium doesn't matter. The biological imperative applies. You treat them like they share your DNA.
That's an evolutionary solution to a digital problem.
It is. I mean, humans are wired for tribes of, what, about 150 people? Dunbar's number. The internet just shattered that. So by invoking flesh and blood, he's trying to artificially recreate that tight-knit loyalty in this massive, anonymous, digital space.
So if I see you as flesh and blood, that changes everything. I can't just troll you. I can't just ghost you.
Right. You have a duty of care. And the video gives us the one operational rule for this duty. It's the core ethic.
Which is?
Lift each other up. Do not bring each other down.
Lift, don't drop.
It sounds so simple, like something you'd see on a motivational poster. But think about what that means online.
It's the complete opposite of how the internet works. The internet runs on dunking on people, on getting the ratio. If I make you look stupid, I get likes. I win.
That's a zero-sum game. For me to win, you have to lose, the whole crab bucket mentality. But the Habibi bro philosophy is a positive-sum game. Sailing on-cap mutual lifting. If I lift you, we both rise.
But is that realistic? Conflict drives engagement. Algorithms reward outrage. Is this just a nice idea that gets crushed by the reality of the attention economy?
That's the cynicism talking. And look, you're not wrong about how the algorithms work, but that's why this is a manifesto. A manifesto is always a call to rebellion.
So you're saying he's asking us to rebel against the default settings of the internet?
Yes. Being nice is punk rock.
I like that.
In a toxic environment, kindness is a rebellion. Supporting someone when it gets you nothing in return. That's a radical act.
Okay, I'm with you. But then he brings up the opposition, the haters. And his dismissal of them is, it's kind of hilarious. He basically says, if you're a Habibi bro, there's no need for haters.
The phrasing is so important there. He doesn't say, we fight the haters. He says, no need. They're irrelevant, obsolete.
It's like, why would we have haters? We're brothers.
Exactly. Hating takes energy. It's a resource. If your community is focused entirely on lifting, then hating someone else is just a waste of fuel. It's inefficient.
All right, now you have to get to the part of the video that, I'll be honest, I found the most confusing. And I think a lot of people trip over this line.
It's the level comment.
Right. He's talking about this noble brotherhood, and then he just suddenly drops a line where he calls the Habibi bro status. Well, the translation is trash level.
Level senpai.
Yeah, trash. What is that? Is he insulting everyone? Is he calling himself trash? What's going on?
This is what you have to understand. Like, gaming culture and internet slang to really get the brilliance of it. He's using trash as a tier. You know how in video games you have gold tier, diamond tier?
Sure, yeah.
And if you're really bad, you're in the trash tier.
Okay.
By calling his own community Habibi bro level trash, he is performing this act of radical humility. He's aggressively lowering his own status.
But why would he do that? He just built himself up as this brother, this leader figure.
Because perfection is alienating. If he stood there and said, we are the Habibi bros, we're the elite, we are the best, that becomes a cult. That's arrogant.
And it invites people to try and knock you off your pedestal.
Exactly. But if I start by saying, hey, I'm trash, you're trash, we're all just figuring this out together, I'm bulletproof. You can't insult me because I already insulted myself.
It's the 8-mile strategy. Eminem rapping about himself so his opponent has nothing left to say.
Precisely. It's a defense mechanism but it's also a powerful invitation. It says you don't have to be perfect to belong here. You can be messy, you can be trash. We still love you, you're still flesh and blood.
That's actually incredibly welcoming. It takes all the pressure off.
It democratizes the brotherhood. We are all level trash, but we're all lifting each other up. And that is a very powerful message for anyone who feels like they aren't winning at life.
It redefines what winning even means. Winning isn't being gold tier. Winning is having a crew that lifts you up when you fall.
Bingo.
So we've got the identity, the rules, let's call it the level trash membership card. Which brings us to the end of the video, the call to action.
The part where he breaks the fourth wall.
He looks right at the camera and gives the standard YouTuber line, if you like this, follow. But then he adds a negative command. He says, don't just swipe.
Don't just swipe.
Why does that one little phrase matter so much?
Yeah.
Everyone swipes. That's how the apps are designed.
It matters because swiping is a specific psychological act. Think about the physical motion. You are discarding something. You're moving on. It is an act of consumption without digestion.
You're treating the content as disposable.
And by extension, you're treating the creator as disposable. If you watch something, get a little laugh, feel a little better, and then immediately swipe to the next thing, you've engaged in a transaction where you took value and gave nothing back.
You didn't lift.
You didn't lift. You were a passive consumer. By saying, don't just swipe, he's asking you to introduce a moment of friction, to stop the endless flow. He wants you to make a conscious choice to acknowledge the human on the other side of that screen.
So the follow button isn't just a vanity metric for him. It's a pact.
It's the 𝗥𝗡𝗓𝗡 contract. I gave you spirit, you give me a follow. It validates the whole relationship. It turns a swipe into a handshake.
It's amazing that we're getting all this from a parody video. I mean, do you think the creator actually sat down and mapped all this out? Or was it just intuition?
I think it's intuitive. I think when you're a creator who genuinely has that good heart we talked about, these things just come out naturally.
Yeah.
He feels the disposable nature of the internet, and so he's instinctively pushing back against it.
He's craving that flesh and blood connection just as much as his audience is.
I think so. It totally reframes the influencer economy, doesn't it? We think of influencers as narcissists chasing clout. But this model, the 𝗥𝗡𝗓𝗡 bro model, suggests it can actually be about community building.
About creating a digital family.
A family of trash, maybe.
Yeah.
But a family nonetheless.
So let's bring this all home. We've unpacked the philosophy. What's the big takeaway for someone listening to this? Because chances are they're not a Bruce Lee impersonator.
The takeaway is about being intentional in your relationships, both online and off. We are all just drifting through a world that encourages us to be passive, to swipe, to judge, to disconnect.
To be the hater, or even just the silent bystander.
Right. The 𝗥𝗡𝗓𝗡 bro is a challenge. It's a challenge to be the active agent, to be the person who brings the spirit into a room or a group chat.
And that takes real effort. It's so much easier to be cynical.
Being supportive is a discipline. I really believe that. It takes muscle to lift someone up. Sailing uncat, it requires you to actually get under the weight and push.
And it requires you to admit that maybe you're level trash, too.
That's the vulnerability part. If you can admit you're not perfect, it makes it so much easier to support other people who aren't perfect either.
You know, I'm thinking about my own group chats right now. We share memes, we joke around, but are we actually giving spirit?
That's the question, isn't it? When your friend leaves an interaction with you, is their tank fuller or is it emptier?
That's a tough question to answer, honestly.
It is. But that's the standard this video sets. A 𝗥𝗡𝗓𝗡 bro fills the tank. A 𝗥𝗡𝗓𝗡 bro treats you like flesh and blood, which means they don't let you fall.
It's a safety net philosophy.
Exactly. In a world that feels like a free fall, be the safety net.
And don't be afraid to be a little weird while you do it.
A little wild goes a long way. Humor is the lubricant. If you're just serious and supportive all the time, it can feel heavy. But if you're laughing, if you're making fun of yourself, the support feels effortless.
It's the spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down.
It is the spoonful of sugar.
Well, I think we have successfully decoded the wisdom of the gaucho. Who knew a parody interview could be a guide to ethical living?
Like I said, sometimes the court jester speaks the most truth.
So, to everyone listening, here's your final thought for the day. We've talked about swiping versus following, lifting versus dropping. As you go back to your phone, as you open your apps, just catch yourself in the act.
Notice the swipe.
Exactly. Notice the swipe. And ask yourself, am I just consuming other humans or am I connecting with them? Are you acting like a stranger, or are you acting like a Habibi bro?
Lift, don't drop.
That's the motto. Thanks for diving in with us on this one.
Habib.